Greetings friends, it's me, Wayman. Welcome to ReligionThink. This is a response to Book of Isaiah challenge to ReligionThink and IWannabeJew from the user Love Jesus Please. I guess I can call him Young. He puts his name on his profile, I believe. And I wanted to apologize if my humor got away from me in the last video when I was being funny. Sometimes I go overboard. But I just wanted to stress how exegesis, or interpretation, ends up sometimes clouding our view when we do it over. I guess what I mean is, if there's another interpretation out there on literature, I want to know about all of them, or most of them, so I can compare and contrast, and then I am able to form an opinion. I do realize that all these books behind me are just commentary, and so I'm going to answer your questions using Isaiah itself, and I am not even going to read the text. I've read Isaiah before many times. It's beautiful literature, and you can read Isaiah in about 3 hours and 40 minutes on a rainy day. It's beautiful, but I do think that we have a lot in common. I like studying biblical literature, ancient Near Eastern literature, and anthropology as a hobby, and I do identify with your evangelical views. I came out of that movement. Now I'm an agnostic, and I don't know. So I guess what I'm getting at is I had to quit reading. I had to do an experiment, because my New Testament commentary, reading the New Testament, influenced Jewish literature that I read so much that I was unable to get the Jewish view of the literature, of Jewish literature. So I quit reading the New Testament for about 3 years. I'm back into it now. I started a couple years ago, but this was way back in the past, and it took me about that long to clear the constant Christian interpretations and typology forced or brought in from Christianity on Jewish literature, reflected on Jewish literature. So, but what's beautiful is I got both sides, and it's pretty amazing, and I really love the history, and I really love the poetry, and the book of Isaiah. The book of Isaiah is the voice of the good impulse to the Jewish people. So, moving on to your text, Isaiah 7:14 to 17. I made some notes here because I had to make some notes. It was a lot of text. This reference could be to Isaiah's son, and it's also used as a word pun in the text 8:7, Isaiah 8:7 to 8:10. Also, the text Isaiah 9:6 to 8. These are names that possibly could be ascribed to Isaiah's son. Biblical names were long because they reflected what the parents believed, not what the child would be. Even the name Hezekiah, and there's a really long Babylonian name if you check out 39:1, and that'll give you a royal name in 39:1 from a Babylonian perspective, which is pretty interesting. Isaiah 11:1 to 5. Actually, this section is very beautiful. This exhortation or poem starts in actually 10:24, and it runs to chapter 12:6. And this is a view, in my opinion, of the Jewish utopia. So, what a perfect Jewish kingdom would be like. Isaiah 12:1 to 9. This could be three people, in my opinion: Jacob, Isaiah, or King Cyrus. King Cyrus, in the text, is referred to as a Messiah or Mashiach, because he allowed the Jews to go back and rebuild. Isaiah 42 Oh, we already said that one. Isaiah 52:13 to 15 plus 53. I found it interesting that you got that one, because actually chapter 53 starts, the servant text starts in 52:13, and it runs the remainder of the chapter 53. So the way Hebrew is written in the scrolls, sometimes these chapters are broken up differently when they were put into chapters in biblical text. So that's who I think these people are. 53 could be Israel itself, projected as a nation into the future, or where they were now, where they came from, and Israel as a whole under the name Jacob. Other references, actually you could just look up the word Jacob throughout Isaiah, and you'll be able to see that that is referred to as a servant. So for the most part, I believe that without Christian theology, that's what that would be. However, it's perfectly fine as Christians, and I would expect you to use typology and apply it to Jesus, because you would believe he's the Messiah, and that's what the New Testament did. And using the New Testament as commentary to read the Old Testament, I would expect nothing less. But I guess another thing that we may have in common in closing is that what a person thinks better be backed up by something on why he thinks that way. And that's why I give a lot of examples and a lot of outside sources and commentaries, because usually it's those books, along with biblical literature, that led me to think a certain way. And if you grab it any other way, you're being deceptive in some ways, because theology influences, whether it's a Sunday school class, whether it's a Sunday school teacher, whether it's a minister, or whether it's a simply life application Bible. These things are influences from the outside that influence the way that we read the literature. But the only true way to get a non-influential, non-commentary view is to read it in Hebrew, and that's it, which is really hard, because any English translation is just that, commentary. Anything out of the original language is commentary. But I would hope that this leads to other people studying biblical literature. You should at least take 2 hours a day. You could read through a lot of literature and become educated about what the Bible, or what the Tanakh, or what the New Testament, whatever your belief system is. 2 hours a day is not that much to give up for study. And always ask questions. And I don't know, Young, if maybe we could come on Stickam at some point, which I think would be fun. I'm not there to ambush you or do anything like that. I think it would be fun because maybe you could give a theological Christian view, and I could give historical background to some of the literature, and make some connections. I would be willing to give up my prejudice against Christianity to do that, and I think it might be beneficial to get us to meet person to person rather than just on video, where a lot of times we misunderstand one another. And again, apologize for the over humorous video, but I was just trying to make a point. Take care, friends, and remember, if everyone's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.